Hi YouTube, it's Ian here from Rackets Sports. Today we're going to talk about the brand new Yonex Nanoflare 1000 series that would include the 1000Z, the Tour, the Game, and Play. Let's go. So first of all, I would like to say this racket reminds me of the legendary Oxsaber Z Slash. It breaks the Guinness record of the fastest smashing racket in the world, and it was smashed by I think Ten Boon Hyun from Malaysia. The first thing I want to say is it's a yellow racket, yellow mixed with a little bit of gold, and it's a mainly matte finish with a little bit of glossy finish on top. It looks really nice. So what are the differences between these four rackets? I will split in half. So basically, the Z and the Tour come with the new Aero compact frame, and the Play and the Game come with regular standard frame. Flexibility wise, these two, the Game and Play, are medium flex, and the Tour and Z are extra stiff flex. Let's get into more details about the Game and Play. So these two rackets are so-called price point rackets from Yonex. They are aiming for beginners or who are just coming into badminton, not sure if they're going to stay or not, so these two will be a great choice for them. So as for the Play, the whole racket is regular graphite, so that's why it's at the price point. It's an intro point, and original selling price was at $90. And good thing for Yonex, they reduced the price before launch date, and now the Play model is only $60, so which is really nice for all Americans to come out and play badminton, play in backyard or something like that, and get the new Nanoflare 1000 Play. It's a great price point. Now as for the Game, we will be looking around $145 or $144.99, and these rackets are aiming for juniors. So for example, a junior player, they come in, just found a club, enroll in classes, they want something that they can grow with, but they don't want to go for the more expensive model. I think the Game suits that really well. And because of the medium flex and regular big head design, or traditional head design, it's easier for them to hit the ball out, and it's a really good looking headlight frame to have. So the Nanoflare Z and the Tour, they come with very similar specs. The Z has a little bit more tweak in there. As for the Tour, it's still good enough. So let's talk about the Tour first. So first of all, the Tour is made in Taiwan. The frame is high modulus graphite, so not just graphite, it's high modulus graphite with a Rackets shaft. So what are Rackets shaft? So Rackets is a traditional molding technique that Yonex have, and it's the way to create a very plush, a very flexible, nice torque shaft. From Yonex, so they call this the Rackets. So you can find Rackets shaft in most Tour models across the line. You can see it in Astrox 100 Tour and also Oxsaber 11 Tour. Now talking about the Z, this comes with something called the M40X carbon in the frame. So what that does for you is it creates a really nice tension hold, and also it can sustain high tension without breaking as well. So M40X carbon, you can find it in a lot of places. You can find it in tennis racket, you can find it in the Nanoflare 700 and 800 series as well. So who made the M40X carbon? It's actually made from Toray. So Toray is a Japanese carbon making company. They are one of the biggest suppliers, I think, in the world right now. A lot of people buy their carbon and make rackets. So definitely good stuff right there. Other than that, it's mixture with high modulus graphite and super slim shaft. So basically these two rackets are very identical, and both of them come with compact aerodynamic frame. These two come with speed assist bumper at the bottom. So only these two come with speed assist bumper, the other two does not. So what these bumper do is, it's kind of like electric cars. They kind of make the frame a little bit more flatter, or like one shape design, so that the air will pass through a lot easier, kind of like all the electric cars you see on the road right now. Other than that, these two are very close. Pricing at $200 for the Tour and $260 for the Z. And let's see how they play and if the price justify or not. So we put Expo 65 24 pounds 10% pre-stretch on all the testing models. That includes the Z, the Tour, the Game, and the Play. Me personally, we decided to put yellow with red stencils, but you know, after looking at it, I feel like it would look even nicer with black and white stencils. But that's just on me. Let me know what you think, comments down below. Alright, so let's start with the Game and the Play. So I went to Seattle Badminton Club, played with it. To be honest, I was kind of surprised, but I can also tell why these two are at a price point. So let me explain why. So at the first impression, when I play with it, clears drive, smashes, pushes, they all feel pretty nice. Alright, but one thing is missing is the stability of the frame and how you feel the racket. So the first couple shots when I play, I can't really feel too much of a difference. So I was really surprised. I'm like, dang, state of the art. It's $140, $60. It plays just like the Z. But once you hit more shots with it, you'll understand why these are cheaper models. So with these graphite rackets, not including the high modulus or Rexus shaft whatsoever, they feel very wobbly and unstable at a higher tension. So 24 10% pre-stretch, it will feel more like a 26. I would say if you're going for these two models, I would suggest probably just 24, maximum 25. I know the racket said it can hold higher, but a lot of times when you play with these models, when you have higher tension, the frame becomes very unstable and you can feel a lot of vibration when you hit the ball. So that's something I noticed very significantly after, I would say, 5 minutes of playing. So it was pretty fast, but the first impression was great. So that means these two are great models for all types of player and who are on a budget buying a racket. Now, my focus will be on the Z and the Tour. I have to say, I feel like the Tour is very nice because it's not as stiff as the Z, and you can see the shaft, I can bend it a little bit easier. So although they are stated as the same extra stiff, I just feel like the Tour is a tiny little bit more easier to play with just because the shaft is a little bit more flexible. Now, I can't tell a very big difference between these two. Playing style wise, smashing wise, sound wise, control wise, I think both of them performs equally. So one is $60 more, one is $60 less. I feel like they are the same thing. Although they have the M40X carbon, it doesn't, but I can't tell a big difference. So let's talk about control. So I think these models are designed very precisely for a certain type of players. So the players who knows how to play badminton correctly, because these are compact frames. If you do not know how to swing correctly or a flawless swing, I think you will struggle a little bit because it's a headlight racket. First of all, so the racket is not going to do much for you. You gotta whip and you gotta swing by your own body and your own strength. Now, a lot of players we see, they're holding the racket real tight and they're hitting like this. You know, when you hit like this, you can't really get that shaft bending, so you gotta use a little bit more fingers, a little bit more wrist to kind of get that racket swinging out for you. So I think it's designed for more advanced or more intermediate players. Now, if you are a beginner looking at these models and you will be like, I want to get one on my hands, I would definitely suggest the Tour. So the Tour comes with a more flexible shaft. It plays a little bit easier, and then stringing it at lower tension probably will be one of the best things that you would ever do. Don't go just for 26, 28 pounds just because other people does it. Do it at the tension that suits you. Not necessarily the higher tension, the better, the more bounce it is. All right. Now talking about power, I think these two rackets are very powerful in the smashes because of the compact frame design. It allows the player to swing through the ball much faster and also with a really nice stability control due to the thickness of the frame. So I think the frame design is very smart as well. The only thing I'm concerned is, although it's thick, but the width is very thin. So it's kind of like Nanoflare 700. It might cause us a lot of breakage from collision, just saying. So if you buy these rackets, try not to clash or hit the side frame with hard stuff. Otherwise, I think I will see a lot of collision and breaking rackets with these frames. Now, what I was also very impressed was how it serves. So with the Energy Boost Cap Plus on these two frames, I think it served really nice because of the balance point. And then when I serve, the ball is always just going over the tape, just climbing through the tape, so people can't really push me back. And this is actually the first time I feel how it's so connected with my hand. A lot of rackets has Energy Boost Cap Plus, but it doesn't feel the same way with this model. So I just feel like they did a really nice job on these two rackets, and also giving people option of going for a cheaper model but still as good as their premium flagship model. So great job, Yonex. Also, I want to mention something that a lot of people don't really realize. All the rackets you buy in store or online or wherever you are, they are not the same thing. Now, the reason why Yonex can sell at a higher price point for their made in Japan model is because of QC. So QC stands for quality control. So what that does is basically it controls into a certain amount of range and differences for all the racket model that's produced from Yonex Tokyo factory, that it allows the customer to just pick any of these two from any other store, any places in the world, and they will be very, very identical. So not sure if you pick up two rackets that are exactly the same but they feel different, of course, in other brands. So I want to talk about a little bit about the QC for the models that's coming out. So I was really surprised. Well, I wasn't surprised. I was very confident that the Z model from Yonex factory is going to be on point. So the balance point for the Z model is averaging around 86 grams in total weight, 292 millimeter from bottom to the balance point. So it's head-like racket, and swing weight will be around 83.5. So I would say it's on the heavier side for the 4U rackets. But the balance point is much more towards the handle, so that makes sense, and it becomes very easy to swing, and the swing weight is also very, very light. Now, talking about the tour, I was also surprised how great this racket was. The balance point is around 295, total weight will be around 83 grams in total weight, so it's a little bit more towards the middle. So 295 millimeter I will consider as complete even balance. So it's a complete even balance racket with a lighter, which is 83.5 grams weight, so the swing weight will be identical with the Z. So both of these two are 83.5 grams 83.5 kg swing weight, so they are very easy to play. Now, talking about the game in the play, that's why they are cheaper. So I try to measure a lot of the game in the play. None of them are the same. So some of them are headlights, some of them the swing weight is even 93. That's like super head heavy. So I mean, that's what you pay for, right? So you have to consider, when you buy a racket, you have to consider what's behind the cost. For example, if I'm selling you for 60 bucks, Yonex is taking a cut, I'm taking a cut, and then of course the factory is taking a cut. So what do you think? Is that a good frame or not? So that's something for you to consider. So me personally, I would say if you're looking at a high-end model, I think it will be very wise to go for the Tour for this time. Usually I would just say go for the Pro or the Z model, which is the toughest line. But in this review, I was genuinely surprised by how well they manufactured the Tour models. And it's manufactured in Taiwan. Taiwan makes great rackets. They make great rackets for Victor. They make great rackets for Redson, etc. So give Tour a shot. If not, if you have that money, of course, give Z a shot as well. Oh, one thing I want to point out. So I have some requests from customers, and then that's also the same thing with balance point. So every manufacturer have a preset balance point when they make the racket, right? Otherwise, they won't make Nanoflare and then make it like a 100ZZ balance point. That would be super weird. So they will have a preset balance point for all type of model. Some customers, they like to custom rackets or try to make their frame good. So they will put stuff on the frame. Now, most of the time, we won't recommend you do that, but if you want to do that, that's really up to you, because when you actually add stuff on the frame, that increase the swing weight. And sometimes it will also disturb the stability of the frame. For example, tungsten tape. How can you make sure the tungsten tape that you're putting on the frame is exactly the same balance? So let's say if you have tungsten tape on the tape, which is two sides that are not even, your racket will become unstable. So I will try to avoid putting stuff on the frame, but if you want to do that to protect your racket or make it a little bit heavier, it's really up to you. But it's just from my perspective, I will avoid that kind of thing. Hope you enjoyed the review. Comments down below, and of course, if you want to get these models on hand, go to proracket.net, order one, and then we will get it done and get it shipped out. And also, for the first people who pre-order or who are still ordering right now, you will get a free Nanoflare 1000Z t-shirt from us and also from Yonex. So thank you so much for watching. This is Ian from Pro Racket Sports. Bye.